The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Maricel Halili. The Senate has formed a panel that will oversee rehabilitation of the Manila Central Post Office. Recall that the historic building was razed by fire late last month, destroying at least 300 million pesos worth of property. Last week, the Senate voted unanimously to adopt a resolution creating a panel to assess the building's reconstruction. This committee is set to look into the extent of the damage caused by the fire, as well as this committee is set to look into the extent of damage caused by the fire, as well as the estimated cost of the building's restoration. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Railway will temporarily close its Calamba to Alabang route starting July to give way for the construction of the North-South Commuter Railway. Gerard de la Peña with a report.
The Philippine National Railway's Calamba to Alabang route will have to be temporarily halted in a month. That's because starting July 2, the Transportation Department will begin constructing the North-South Commuter Railway. This will connect Calamba in Laguna to Clark in Pampanga. The DOTR promises the project to have stations with modern designs, as well as Japanese-made trains that are faster than usual. This temporary closure of the Calamba-Alabang route will affect about 500 passengers daily. The DOTR said it would be better to suspend the train line's operations altogether, since it would be costlier for the government and unsafe for commuters if they do otherwise.
Usually, 2 years ang kakailanganin mo para sa right-of-way at 3 years ang kakailanganin mo para sa construction, civil works. Bakit 2 years? Sapagkat hindi ka lang nagre-relocate ng ISF, nagre-relocate ka rin ng utilities. Meralco, phone companies, Maynila.
The 147-kilometer elevated railway will pass through Calamba, Metro Manila, and Bulacan before it reaches Pampanga. The expected construction cost is a whopping 837 billion pesos. The project's funding will be taken from the government's national budget as well as loans from the Asian Development Bank and the Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA. The DOTR has already asked the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB to add jeepney routes, which will bring passengers from Laguna to bus terminals. However, the daily commute will be more expensive for these affected passengers. A one-way fare from Calamba to Alabang via PNR only costs 30 pesos. But with this temporary closure, the fare for the same route via buses will be more than double at 70 pesos.
Kung ganun po mangyayari, kung mapaganda naman po ang sitwasyon po ng PNR, wala tayo po magagawa. Tayong tatanggapin po namin. Sa akin lang po, tatanggapin ko po. Nakakatipid po ako ng isang 100 piso po kada araw-araw.
Papasok ako sa trabaho, magta-tricycle ako hanggang terminal ng bus. Or bus hanggang Alabang lang naman yun. Kasi probinsya hanggang Alabang lang. Tapos sasakay ka naman ng pwedeng jeep or bus ulit na pabikutan.
Aside from commuters, around 2,000 families living close to the rails will also be affected by this project.
Ang hirap dito talaga pag kung ipinaalis, na wala naman kaming kasiguraduhan na saan makapunta yung mga tao.
No choice naman kami sir kasi kung project po talaga ng gobyerno, wala po tayong magagawa. Ang sa amin lang po, ilagay lang po sa ayos, saka po yung sa tamang ipaglalagay yung mga tao kasi napakahirap po talaga ng maglipat.
Aside from Calamba to Alabang, the Alabang to Tuban route will also be closed starting October this year, also for the project. The North-South Commuter Railway is expected to be partially operational by 2027. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Maricel Halili. 2 buoys are reportedly missing in the West Philippine Sea weeks after it was installed by the Coast Guard. Elaine Fulgencio with the details.
Last month, the Philippine Coast Guard successfully installed additional buoys in the Kalayaan group of islands in the West Philippine Sea. These are located in Cota Island, Patag Island, Panata Island, Balagtas Reef, and Julian Felipe Reef. Aside from being sovereign markers, these buoys also serve as navigation guide to Filipino fishermen. However, recently, 2 buoys at the Julian Felipe and Balagtas Reef were reported missing.
Intact yung 8 buoys na nilagay natin, no? Pero yung 2 na nilagay sa Balagtas tsaka sa Julian Felipe is hindi pa natin ma-confirm, subject to validation. At siguro masama yung panahon kasi hindi natin mapuntahan. Pero insofar as the other 8, as reported by our personnel dun sa mga substation, dun sa mga islands, nandun pa po.
The Philippines has since claimed that the installation of buoys in the area do not mean to provoke any country, but China has since placed their own navigation beacons in the Balagtas and Julian Felipe reefs a week after the Philippines did. Meanwhile, a trilateral maritime exercise is currently being conducted between the country, US, and Japan. These exercises aim to strengthen the 3 nations' interoperability through communication exercises, maneuvering drills, maritime law enforcement training, and search and rescue exercises.
Been focused on establishing trust in how we operate at sea, and the next couple days will be an opportunity to show that off as we actually operate together.
Through this training, what the JCG hopes to achieve is an even closer mutual understanding as well as interoperability.
The Coast Guard says their goal is to build maritime operational capability and to strengthen ties among naval forces in the region.
The cooperation among the Japan, United States, and Philippine Coast Guard agencies plays a vital role in promoting openness, transparency, freedom of navigation and overflight, and rule-based order in the Indo-Pacific region to enhance the capabilities and interoperability of the 3 Coast Guard organizations to contribute to efforts in supporting and sustaining a stable, safe, and secure Indo-Pacific region.
The trilateral maritime exercises will last until May 7 in Mariveles, Bataan. Reporting for News 5, Elaine Fulgencio, we are One News.
Here's a quick look on other stories we're watching. The first batch of bivalent COVID-19 vaccines have arrived in the country. These vaccines protect against the original COVID-19 strain and its mutations, including Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5. Healthcare workers and the vulnerable sector will be the first ones to receive these bivalent shots. 8 out of 10 Filipinos use the internet but not for productivity and learning. The DICT reveals that most Pinoys who surf the web only use social media, even when they're looking up information. Internet and social media usage in the Philippines also exceeds the global average according to the DICT. And Pag-asa says up to 15 cyclones may enter the Philippine area of responsibility from June to October this year. Some of these weather disturbances will make landfall in Luzon and Visayas, while others may enhance the habagat. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Maricel Halili. We are One News.